Would like to welcome you to our lesson number 5. And what you're going to look in this lesson is how to file returns given a P9. So a P9 is just a form that indicates the amount of money that you earn in a year, plus other relevant details. We shall have a look at it. And it is different from one employer to another. If you work in a private sector, and if you're in the county governments, if you're in TSC, the format of the P9 may look different, but the information that is needed is the same. So how does a P9 look like? Let me begin from there. I would like to display P9. Let me look at one of the P9 so that I will look at a P9 from Teacher Service Commission and let you see. Good. A P9 will look like this. And before you log into KRA portal, you need to write this information down. And the first thing you need to write is the taxable pay. That is your gross salary. Just this figure only. Then you also need to note down those who are paying pension. You need to note down the total amount of pension. And you also need to note down the pay. And finally, you need to note down the monthly personal relief. Of course, other information that may be relevant is the PIN of the employer and your personal PIN, in case you don't remember them. Good. That's how a P9 will look like. So once you capture those details, the next thing you do is to log into iTax. Log into iTax. Log into iTax, and then you write, okay, you enter your personal identification number, which is called KRA PIN. And let me enter this. Then you enter your password. Just in case you forgot your password, you can reset. You can watch my video number 2 on how to reset the password. So here you enter your password. And then you do some few maths. 115 plus 5 is 120. Good. You'll be directed to this portal. So we want to file our returns. So what we do, we come and click file return. Then you follow these procedures here. You want to file income tax resident. We click next. Good. At this point, we need to insert the details I told you we have captured from the P9. So we download the Excel form. We download the Excel form. Good. After downloading your Excel sheet, The next thing to do is now to insert the information you had in your P9. So the first information you're going to do is your personal identification number. Insert your personal identification number here. Here, because you're filing for the first time, you say it's original. The amended, you indicate amended here if you indicate amended in case you had filed before, but you realize that the information that you captured were not correct. So you come back and file again. But in this time, if you're filing for the second or the third time, you normally indicate amended. So tax period, this January 2021. And it ends in December 2021. Good. For this kind of return, these other informations are not necessary about it. In case you have other incomes and maybe you have withholding tax. For now, we don't want to make use of this. If you scroll down here, scroll down there, in this banking section, just in case you, after we are done, I will come back and explain something here about the bank details. I will explain something. So this part, just in case you have only an employment income. In case you are just a salary, you don't need. So what you do, you come to the next slide. The next part here, we are going to insert the PIN of your employer. So the PIN of your employer, P0529. And then let me, this is a TSC employee. Gross salary at this point from your P9, the first column which had your taxable pay, the total amount you come and indicate here. Let me just give a figure like 1.5 million. Then allowances and benefits other than car, most of these people from TSC don't have those. But just in case your employer has given you allowances and benefit from employment beyond a house and a car. And what kind of benefits are these? Taxable allowances that goes beyond house and car. You have security. Your employer is paying your school fees to your children. Is paying. You have a gardener, some other stuff, especially to public officers. So you normally have this. Then net housing, net value of housing, you indicate 0. Pension if in excess of 300,000. Yeah, you like the P9 I displayed, there is no pension beyond 300,000. The pension was very small, so indicate 0. Then down here, this information is not important. What we do, we move to the next part. You can click next here. Now, on this next part, you had already inserted the PIN of the employer. You don't need to add it again. Then you come and write the name of the employer. Taxable salary. Here you indicate the taxable pay or the gross pay that it is in column 1. So I had indicated 1.5 million. At this point here, I want you to note taxable pay on taxable salary. This one, it means those who teach mathematics or those who, it is mean gross tax. Gross tax. That means tax before the reliefs. It is the taxable pay on taxable salary. Therefore, what you do, you take your pay plus monthly personal relief. You come and add here. Let me say it's 190,000. 190,000. And pay monthly relief supposed to be 28,800. So if I take 190,000 minus 28,800, this gives me 161,200. So the difference should give you the on part C there, the difference should give you your monthly personal relief. Of course, these are details for annual, not as I mentioned down there in the P9. You only capture those details for whole year, not monthly, the whole year. So once you're done with this part, now remember, I want to mention again that taxable pay, this is the gross tax. And then here is the pay. The difference give you the monthly personal relief. You realize this part is also not important for this kind of return. So I will go to the last part. Now, of course, at this point, I want to say that the figures that I'm right there are not, they don't actually come from a certain P9. So they're just my approximation. So in your P9, there is a portion written pension. There is a portion pension, and this portion is less than 300,000 the whole year. So you'll come and indicate your pension. Indicate your pension. Maybe it's 27,000. 27,000. And the next thing, you come here and indicate your monthly personal relief. 28,800. Good. The other details I will mention in my next video, where we shall be filing returns for someone with additional income or withholding tax. Kindly make sure to subscribe and be alerted when the next video is posted. Good. I had mentioned something about the back details. So at this last part, for someone with P9 only, what is important here is the pension contribution as it appears in your P9 and your monthly personal relief. Now, I want to do this. You see, I had mentioned something about the bank details. When this figure look positive like this, it means immediately I validate, I will go back to my portal and pay this amount. So at this point, the bank detail is not important because I'm the one paying. The figures are positive. I'm the one paying. So if you come back to basic information, you realize that the bank details, you can still not insert anything here because you are the one to pay KRA. KRA are not the one to pay you. Yeah. So in this part, that's what I'm saying. When it is positive like this, the bank column will remain closed. Now, what happens in case I indicate negative? And indicate negative means that I declare taxes more than what was taxed. So let me come to employment details and say that this taxable pay was 390,000. The difference, 390,000 minus 28,800. This gives 361. 361,200. Now, let me go to my last page. Yeah, You can see after I've changed the amount of tax to pay, it is now indicating negative 10,000. So, but in most cases, let me assure you, the most cases, if you answer or you put your details correctly, it cannot give you positive. It is either 0 or a small negative. Sometimes, from my experience, sometimes TSC or employer can charge you more tax, but a small difference, like 50 shillings, 100, 70, 20, but not negative 3,000, negative 4,000. If you are dealing with your employment income only, because this is work that has been done by accountants. And now, this is work that has been done by so many people. So you can't have so big, so an error cannot be of so big margin. Now, what I'm saying now is when now you have this negative, you realize that when you go back to basic information here, the bank details is now open, meaning that you need to get a refund. Yeah, you'll come here and indicate your bank. You come and indicate your bank. Maybe you are a member of Equity Bank. You come and indicate Equity Bank. This is Fidelity. I wanted Equity Bank. Yes, this is majority of Equity Bank. I'm not campaigning for Equity Bank anyway. Branch, maybe your branch is in Changamwe. City, and then you write your name. Maybe I can have my name here, John Macharia, and the account number you can have any. Good. Now, remember the reasons the bank columns or the section, the banking details section has opened up is because there is a negative here. A negative means that I paid more tax than my income tax obligation. Therefore, I should get a refund. Good. Immediately you are done with this pattern, I think I've explained well that at this point, there are two things you need to remember here. You need to remember how to insert your pension, and you need to remember how to insert, or you need to insert your personal relief here. Those are the necessary details for someone with salary only. Of course, there are those with salary, but they have other incomes, like they have withholding tax certificates, they are doing business. We shall come that to the next video. Good. Now, once you're done with this part, the next thing you do is to validate. You click validation here. I don't want to validate because I've not inserted correct details. My details were not gathered from a genuine P9. So you validate there. Validation will take some few minutes, but I want you to know that immediately you finish validating, you need to know the location of your new file. It will be indicated there. Your file has been located to a certain position in your computer. So immediately you know, because this file, this form that I'm filling is not the one to be uploaded to KRA portal. The form after validating is the one that will be uploaded. Remember that. Don't upload a very long form, then you keep asking yourself, why is it not going through? The form after validating, so you need to note the location of that form. So immediately you're done with that, what next? You'll go back to your portal, and at this point, you are going to choose a file. You're going to choose a file. Let me choose one. Let me choose a file. Let me choose a file. If I go to Do you have a file I can choose? Yes, let me choose a file like this one. And then I click open. Then I will come and click agree, and finally click submit. So the file that is supposed to be attached here is the file after validating your details in Excel. Then when you click submit, you are going to get your receipt indicating that you filed your returns for a certain period. That is it. That's how you file income tax given P9 only. I would request you to subscribe and be alerted when the next video will be posted. And the next video will be how to file income tax given P9 and the other income. You are doing business, you have withholding tax. How do you file such returns? Others, welcome. Subscribe to my channel, Citizen School of Accountancy, and more stuff loading for you. Thank you.